Is buying a home even worth it?
I don't know.
Is it even worth it these days, bro? That's what we got for today's viewer mailbag. We got a letter from our dear viewer, doesn't say their name, but that's okay. I'm going to read it out. We're going to talk about it, give him a little bit of helpful feedback. We'll see where we are. Howdy, Chris and Dom, howdy. I hope you can help me. I've been grappling with a pretty large decision lately, and I find myself in need of some perspective.
Okay.
It concerns the pressure my wife and I are feeling to buy a home, both from external sources and family alike, and on a personal level as well. Allow me to provide a bit of context. We are a couple in our mid-30s residing in a very high cost of living area. Our combined gross income stands at $255,000, translating to a net monthly income of about $13,000 after accounting for taxes, 401k contributions, health insurance, those things.
All the good stuff.
Yes, sir. Our current monthly expenses include rent, utilities, food, and other necessities. However, that hover around $6,500.
Okay.
So that's about half.
Yeah.
It's a good cushion.
Yeah.
However, with the recent addition of our first child, congratulations. That's awesome. We anticipate healthcare expenses or childcare expenses to reach a minimum of $3,000 a month. This will bring our total monthly expenses to approximately $9,500 to $10,000 later this year. Okay. And that number can fluctuate so hard.
Yeah, but that's the nice thing about seasons of life, right? But this person already had a 50% savings rate. So when they bring in this new kid, which I don't know if $3,000 a month is going to be accurate. That sounds like a lot to me.
You think childcare is so much?
Oh, well, yeah, that's true, huh? That's what they mean by childcare expenses. Okay, yeah, no, that's probably right then.
Because like the daycare's like, I've seen some crazy stories where they're like $1,500, $2,000. It's like, and if they're in a high cost of living.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Childcare, I didn't think about that. But no, but thank goodness that they were already living on less means, because now they're going to be able to actually absorb that cost without, imagine they're making $13,000, already spending $13,000, and now they need to come up with another $3,000.
That's when you start digging yourself in a hole.
Yep, that's what I love about our audience, and we have such a wide, diverse audience. We have some people like these people who are really already on the path to financial independence asking for help. We've also had people who are definitely not on the path, or like trying to get on the path. So that's the audience we reach is amazing.
We love them. We love them very much. Financially, we are in a stable position. We have no outstanding debts. Awesome. Around $200,000 in retirement and investments, and a robust emergency fund that covers up to a year and a half of living expenses. Additionally, we have diligently saved $400,000 for a down payment on a home. Down payment, that's a whole home in some places. However, the real estate landscape in our area is daunting, with the median home price standing at $1.4 million.
Holy shit.
Considering our financial situation, we believe that we could reasonably afford a home priced at $1.1 million. This, however, would only secure us a residency of approximately 1,200 square feet, marginally larger than our current rental.
Whoa. $1.1 million for 1,200 square feet?
What's the dollar per square foot on that? That's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
That's expensive.
Where do these people live?
Dude, even $400,000 for a down payment is crazy to me.
It's got to be LA, SF, or New York.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's New York.
Probably.
I don't know why. I just feel like it's a California story.
I don't know, because you probably wouldn't be saying house. You'd be saying like an apartment.
Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Like a condo. Okay,
yeah,
it's probably Cali. Yeah.
My high rise. Okay. Okay, so let me catch up where we're at. Let's see. So, yeah, right there. Just that marginally larger than our current rental. That scares me. Here lies our dilemma. We question the financial wisdom of taking on a $600,000 mortgage, especially when it comes to add an extra $2,400 to our monthly expenses. The prospect of purchasing a home simply for the sake of ownership becomes even more disheartening when you consider the subpar quality of homes in our price range. I know. We find ourselves at a crossroads. Should we press forward with home ownership, or does it make sense to continue renting and invest the available cash elsewhere? The opinions of those close to us, combined with the societal expectations, have only amplified the pressure to buy a home. However, as we inch closer to making this significant decision, the allure of homeownership seems to fade in the face of financial pragmatism. We are torn between the desire for our own home and the rationalization that our hard-earned money would be invested more strategically. I would appreciate any insights or advice you may have, and if you've navigated a similar situation or have any valuable perspectives to share, your input would be invaluable as my wife and I navigate this critical junction in our financial journey. Thank you for taking the time to read this letter. I hope it gets chosen for the podcast. It did. From navigating the financial tide to buying a home or let the savings ride, in a pricey city where dreams get bold, I seek your guidance to help my story unfold.
Wow.
Love the rhyme.
Okay. Well, first off, I'm just going to say you're in California. So
100%. Yeah.
Hello, future other Californian.
Hello.
I'm also from California originally.
Yes.
Okay. So is this house even worth it?
So much to unpack there.
So much to unpack there. First off, okay.
Congratulations on this kid.
Congratulations on having your first baby. Yeah. Congratulations on that. You are well on your path to financial independence. And the fact that you're even thinking this over, it just speaks a testament to like how well you're thinking this through. Because most people are like, can we afford it? Get it.
Send it.
So we'll do it live. Let's
put it on credit cards.
Yeah, put it on credit cards.
We're travel hacking now.
We're going to travel hack this house. Oh boy. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to think is, my biggest concern is, where are you getting these cultural beliefs that we must buy a house, and that renting is quote unquote like a bad investment? Mm-hmm. I know you didn't say that per se. You didn't ever say that renting is not a good choice. It sounds like you're definitely wrestling with it, but it sounds like your family, your friends, people that really don't know your situation and may not be in your situation are telling you to buy a house because it's a good investment. But that might be a good investment for them. Maybe if you're in, I don't know, freaking Alabama or Maine or some other part of the country, buying a house makes sense. But if you are in California, right now buying a house does not make sense. I'm assuming you're in California just based off the
Yeah, we'll assume that. Yeah.
I'm just going to assume. It just does not make sense. So for people that don't know your situation to weigh in on your situation, tell you must buy a house because it's a good investment, they don't know everything.
Yeah. They don't know the details like you know the details.
Yep. Yeah. And it sounds like you have been very thoughtful in your entire life at how you've gone through this. I mean, look, you're already at like a 50% saving rate before you have a baby.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's huge.
That's huge. So you've set yourself up. You have $600,000 of net worth right now. Yeah. With $200,000 in retirement, you're pretty much a coast fi. Yeah. If you take all that money, put it into the market, when you reach retirement age, you're done. Like probably even sooner.
Yep.
So great job.
Awesome job.
But I want you to question that. Why do we really need to buy a home? So many people think that home ownership is the only way to accrue money or to live the American dream. And maybe that was true at one time, but I don't think that's true anymore. And my guess is it's your family. It's probably your parents telling you the only way to buy a good or to make money in this world is to buy a house. And they're only telling you what worked for them.
Yeah.
So many people, especially our parents and our grandparents, they were able to walk into any neighborhood, see a house, put down 3 raspberries and a nickel, and now they have that house. And then over the last 20 to 60 years, that house has appreciated
to like $1 million
exponentially. Yeah. And now they think that they're a freaking real estate mogul who's a genius when all they did was purchase the house to live in.
Yeah.
That situation for us is just not feasible anymore. You just said that you're looking at a house that is worth $1.1 million for 1,200 square feet. Houses nowadays are not made 1,200 square feet, meaning that this is an older house.
Definitely.
So you're going to spend $1.1 million to get this house. And then you have to do closing costs, insurance, all this BS.
Fix it up.
And then, and then we have to spend all of this money to fix it up.
Yeah.
And we're having a baby, and we're going to do all this with a baby.
Yeah. Home renovations with a child suck.
Home renovations in general suck.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, that's a great point. Mm-hmm. Homes are not built that small these days.
No.
They're usually built bigger.
They're 2 to 3 times bigger than that.
Yeah. And what's scary to me is how they said if they go to buy a home, it's only marginally bigger. Mm-hmm. Marginally. So where they're at is smaller than this actually. And they have a kid already.
Yep.
So it's like
I mean, I'm not the guy to say, especially just based off this, based off what I have right here, what to do or what not to do. But based off of this, there is no way in hell I would be looking to buy a house right now. because I think of so many people that get so black and white in it. It's either I buy a house now or I never buy a house. I've saved the $400,000, Chris. I got to do something with it.
Yeah.
There are so many other things you can do with it. Right now, there's like money market accounts paying like 5%.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go and invest that $400,000 into the market super aggressively.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to buy a house in the near future. But right now might not be the right time because you can always wait.
Yeah.
There's always that patience. It doesn't have to be right now or anything.
Absolutely.
So many older people, especially the people who I'm assuming are telling you need to buy the house right now because you're throwing away money while we're renting. They always say rentals or housing always appreciates. And if you're in LA or you're in San Francisco, as I'm assuming you are based off of your prices, if you're in those two places, yes. During that time, housing markets did appreciate substantially. But during that same time, places like Detroit, which were in the same exact place, those houses have depreciated exponentially.
Yeah.
So it's all about location and all these other things. There's so many other factors to take into effect than can I afford the house right now? And I really, really need a house because I need a house. You have something that your parents and that your family members didn't have. You have $600,000 net worth.
Yeah.
You have, you are on the path towards financial independence where your parents and other people might be working forever or they're just living off Social Security, but they have their house. You have true financial independence. You have the ability at 50% savings rate to, if one of you wants to even take a step back from work for some time, I'm not sure like where the breakdown is between you and your spouse on making the $155,000 or $255,000. But my guess is if one of you wanted to take a step back from working for a year or a few, just to stay home with the baby, you guys have that option.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys have that option available to you. But if you purchase the house and you make this commitment, that option will more than likely go away.
100%. My thing also is it's not like making the jump from where they are to where they want to be it's all in the mind. It's all in the opinion of society. It's like, oh, now I'm a homeowner. What feels different? Not much.
I get to tell people that
I get to tell people. Yeah, but were you telling people that you were a renter before? So it's like, why are you flaunting that? It's weird to me. It's like, if the difference in rent was, say, an extra $500 or $700 or $1,000 even, and they got twice the house, they went from 1,000 square foot because they said 1,200 is what they'd be going to, and what they have now is marginally, it's smaller, right? So we'll say 1,100, and they went to 2,200 or 2,400 or something like that. I'd be like, well, got a new baby on the way. It's only $500 more, and you're, getting equity, and you get more bedrooms, more space. Maybe they work from home. Like, yeah, it makes sense. Maybe it makes sense. But you're putting yourself in financial risk for status. For status. And also, this whole plan is built on the fact that neither of you lose your job. Neither of you experience an economy shift. Neither of you, what if you have another kid? What if your parents need someone to look after them and they have to move in, or something happens, or you get fired. It's just like there's not enough cushion or room for error if you do buy a home. You're praying that, oh, I hope I don't break my knee or get in a car accident and puts me out for 6 months because you're skating on ice. Yeah, that's my take on it.
No, I think you're exactly right. And I think the other thing that where your family is coming from, and to their point, they think that the only way to make money is by buying a house because that's what worked for them, and it did work for them, and I like that it worked for them. Good for them. But you have something that's fundamentally different, where most people they need to buy a house because that house is a forced saving vehicle. That is the only investment they have, because other than that, if they got your $13,000 check, they're going to spend $13,000 on bullshit.
Yeah.
But you are not that person. You are the person that get a $13,000 check, spend $6,000 on the cost of living, and then put the other $6,500 into investments to grow your net worth. So you don't need a forced savings vehicle. You are the forced savings vehicle. You are the person that's taking control of your life and pursuing a path of, I'm assuming since you're listening to the Fly Guys, a path of financial independence. And I don't see how this house is going to help you achieve that, especially assuming that you buy this house, 1,200 square feet. That is not going to be your forever home.
No. No, I wouldn't think so.
Unless you want to tear the thing down in the studs and rebuild it.
And build a 2-story or
Yeah,
something.
build a 2-story.
Build a 2-story with a basement.
Or a 3-story. Like,
yeah, something. Yeah, because 1,100 square feet with a baby is tough.
1,100 square feet with me and my wife would be tough.
Dude, I'm in 1,000 square feet. I'm like, I could use another office. Yeah. I could use another bedroom. You know, bigger kitchen. I can only imagine what they're going through with a baby.
I mean, I have 3 dogs, a cat, and me and my wife in this big ass house. And
yeah.
Like, I don't need any more house than this, but like, we could not move into 1,000 square feet.
No shot.
No shot.
No shot. It would almost, it's too small. Mm-hmm. It's too small for that. But
yeah, I mean, there's just so much to think about here with this, but I see no reason to put yourself into that situation. Yeah. And I'm not saying, so I mean, at the end of the day, your question was, is buying a home even worth it? I think that buying a home can be worth it one day.
Yeah.
But right now, is it worth it for you in this situation that you just brought out? Mm-hmm. Hell no.
Yeah, I agree with Chris 100%.
There's no way. Now, if this was a different place, different part of the country where someone's like, hey, a median household is
200,000, 300,000.
200, 300,000. Right now I'm paying $2,000 in rent. Do it.
Yeah.
Send it. Go for it. But that's not the situation you're in. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure there's other people out there, your friends, your family, all these people who bought houses, you know, years ago, back after 2008, after the housing market crash. I bought my house, everything worked out great for me. Well, it did. They were in a different time, different situation.
Yes.
You are in a different time, different situation.
Yes. Yeah. You can't compare apples to oranges,
No.
especially when talking with your parents.
Yep.
Especially because it's a different world we're living in.
Yep. So is buying a house even worth it? Not right now.
Not right now for this specific person.
For this specific person. So
in other places of the country, absolutely. If in other situations, absolutely. But for this person, this couple, and this family, where they're living financially, no, it's not worth it.
No, I don't think so. But only you can make that determination. If you say, like, Chris, I hear you, but I really want the house because it's going to make me so happy. I question if it's really going to make you happy, but you do you, boo-boo. And it sounds like you have enough doubt in your mind that you're looking for someone that's going to give you the real answer, which I think that most people aren't.
Yeah.
Because so many people think like, oh, when you rent, you are throwing away money. Mm-hmm. How it's the same, like, I think this, when I go on a vacation and I rent a car and I get that car and I get to drive around from place to place, I didn't go on a vacation somewhere, buy a freaking car so I can keep that car for a week. It's the same thing with rental. I'm paying money for a thing. Mm-hmm. I'm paying money to have a roof over my head. I am paying my rent in order to have the house. I'm paying my rent in order to have the optionality to leave. Yep. You know, we haven't even talked about geo arbitrage as an option for this person.
We never even mentioned it once.
Yep.
And that's definitely on the table. I mean, but you almost need more information.
Yeah.
Because, you know, is their job, can they pick up and move to a different state? Can they pick up and move to a different area? Can they work from home? You know,
you need a lot more information on that. And that's where I would say, like, seek professional advice if you 100%. Really need it. Like, you can always reach out to me, Chris at Monzon Wealth, if you need to. And you clearly know how to get in touch with us. You already got in touch with us. So if you want more help, you can always reach out to me and we can continue this conversation. Yeah. But geo arbitrage could be an option. The only thing I'm thinking is that's not an option right now because they're about to have a kid.
Yeah.
I'm assuming if they're in California, their family is also in California.
Yeah.
And their family is telling them you need to buy a house because we bought a house and look how much money our house is appreciated to.
Yeah.
But not thinking, and then they also think like, what, this $1.1 million house in the next 10 years is going to appreciate to $10 million?
Yeah.
Like,
no.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And one thing you got to think about is like, you don't want to be house poor.
No.
You don't want to be house poor. And making that move would essentially make you house poor.
I don't know, because it sounds like they're willing to get a house that's smaller than what they could, because he put, I can safely assume a price of $1.1 million.
Okay.
So I think they would still have a room, a buffer inside there. A little bit
buffer.
But they wouldn't be house poor, but it would still be like all you're doing is you're sacrificing $400,000, an additional $2,400 a month. Mm-hmm. You're getting 100 square feet more, and you get to call yourself a homeowner. That's all you're getting.
Like if I brought this to you, I'd be like, I'll give you 100 more square feet of this house, $400,000, and you can tell people about it.
Yep, you can tell people that it's yours.
You'd be like,
and when things go wrong,
yeah,
you get to pay for it.
You get to pay for it. Yeah, exactly. Like, and guess what? Like all your friends are pressuring you to do it too.
Yep.
and they want you to do it because they did it and it was worked out great.
Or some of your friends haven't even done it and they're just talking shit.
Yeah. It's like,
because they can't afford it, but they know you can. So how about you just go and screw yourself?
With that analogy, you know what to do.
Yeah. And think about this. Someone's mortgage payment is the least amount they're going to spend for their house a month. While another person's rent is the most they're going to spend for that house for that month. Because when you have a mortgage, you have to pay for that mortgage, you have to pay for insurance maybe, you have to pay for all these other things. But more importantly, if something goes wrong with that house, you are paying all of that.
Yeah, so it's more expensive to be the homeowner.
100%.
So much more expensive.
If you have a rental, I'm not paying for, maybe you pay for renter's insurance.
Yeah.
But you're not paying for like all this other insurance.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong, the roof leaks, AC goes out, guess what? One call the landlord.
ACs are expensive.
They pay for that.
ACs are like $8,000. Yep. Roofs are like $10,000.
Especially if you're going to be buying a house that's 1,200 square feet for $1.1 million, you are probably buying a 40, at least a 60-year-old house.
You think so?
Yep.
Yeah.
In California, LA, yeah, at least a 600 square, at least a 60-year-old house.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah. And I mean, we could legit talk about this for an hour, 2 hours. We didn't even talk about, hey, can you make more money at your job? Can you do a side hustle? Can you negotiate a raise? Can you switch positions at work, or maybe like move to a different company to get more pay? Can the parents watch the kid so you don't have to put them in daycare? So you save a couple grand probably there. There's so many different aspects you can look at it to make it better. But what worries me is going from that 50% cushion that they're at now to
1,000.
A much tighter cushion.
Yeah, especially with the baby coming, all this stuff.
Especially with the baby, yeah. It's just.
Do they have the baby yet, or is the baby coming?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Either or. I mean, if the baby's coming, they're preparing a room for him, I would hope. And if he's here, he's already in the room. So
yeah, so it's a lot, and there's so many different aspects. That's why I say like seeking out a professional could be really helpful to think through all these nuances, like Dominic just brought up. But based on what you said, we don't even need to go into that because I think this is pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So
well, I hope
that helps. Big hug to California from Arizona neighbors.
Yeah, neighbors. Yeah.
Very different areas.
Very different
states,
areas. Yep.
Different ways of looking at the world. But I'm from Cali too, so it's cool, bro.
Yep.
All right, so thank you so much for writing in. I hope that was helpful. You can always reach out to Chris at Mons on Wealth, or reach out to me, reach out to Dom. We're always here to help you to try to walk through these nuances of life. But I think you have a pretty clear answer based on what we said. We typically don't come down hard on one side or the other because life is too nuanced. But I think we know on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. You wanna give options to both sides and see both ways, but this one's pretty cut and dry.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so as well.
This video podcast is sponsored by Mons on Wealth. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests, not the podcast sponsor.
It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monsonwealth.com.